What's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back. Back like we ain't never left, baby. So, this segment's going to be just a tad bit different. It's something minor that has happened that I want to talk about. No biggie. And usually I don't even talk about this stuff. This is the kind of thing that happens in the comment section or on Twitter and on social media. It you brush it off your shoulders. It's no big deal, but it leads into something broader that I just wanted to talk about and say to you. Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit. A couple days ago, James Abrams, I hope I'm saying your last name right, James Abrams, who is a subscriber of mine and is Yang Gang to the fullest, and has supported this channel and many other channels, tagged me in a tweet. And in that tweet, it was me and some other people that were tagged in the tweet. Other Yang Gangers were tagged in this tweet. And in that tweet, it was linked to a video, which was on Facebook. And that Facebook video had a message in a video. That video said, Yang Gang for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Right? It was apparently a portion of the Yang Gang, which are for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now, I can only get through a small portion, a smidget of that video because it was honestly cringy. Okay? It was cringy. But if you're Yang Gang and that's the route you want to take, then by all means, right? I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to talk you out of it. But it was a cringy video nonetheless. So on Twitter, we all expressed that it was quite the cringy video. But it is what it is. And in the midst of us talking about the cringiness, and I should have screenshots on the screen somewhere along this recording for you guys. Russell from Grassroots Yang Gang, we all know Russell. Russell said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the tweet in front of me, like, count this Yang Gang out, hard pass on the Joe Biden Kamala. Like, thanks, but no thanks. And that was fine. Or so we thought. So other people ended up chiming in. I want to say about 3, maybe 4 other people ended up chiming in. And what they had to say was quite interesting, okay? And I should have some of their tweets on the screen somewhere with their full usernames so you can go not harass them, but maybe educate them a little bit if you guys feel the need to. But I digress. People started coming at Russell. People started coming at Russell really out of pocket, right? Telling him to wake up and that he was wrong, and people with this kind of thinking are stupid, okay? I found this fascinating, right? And so listen, Russell doesn't need my help in the least bit. Trust and believe me, he can speak for himself, right? He doesn't need me to come to his honor. He doesn't need me to come to his defense at all, okay? And remember, this is all leading to a grander message that I have for you guys, okay? And so they were really trying to get on him. And I spoke up. Because we have to remember, guys, Russell was a Republican. Russell is a Republican, okay? He's not a Democrat. by any stretch of the imagination. He said himself many, many times over again, I give two shits about the Dems. I don't care about the Dems. I'm not for the Dems. I'm a Yangocrat. Like many of the Republicans that came over to the Yang Gang, they were strictly here specifically for Andrew Yang and his policies, right? So it is of no surprise to me that he's not siding with the worst the Democrats could have picked. They picked Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You picked the absolute worst Democrats you could find running and prop them up. So I am not the least bit surprised he's not for them. But these people were really taken aback and really were coming for Russell's neck as if he was as if he had his head up his ass and he didn't know what he was talking about, and that their choices were the best choices, and that their word was gospel. Okay? So I stuck up for him because here's my outlook on it all. I will come up here on this show and I will talk about the good and the bad of the Republicans, and I will talk about the good and the bad of the Democrats. What you do with that information is up to you. Whether you hear it and you say, fuck what this guy's saying, that's up to you. Whether you hear what I'm saying and you say, you know what, I agree, I'm going to do this, that's up to you as well. But what I don't do, which is what they did, what I don't do is voter shame. I don't voter shame. Because it is their right, it is your right to vote for whoever the fuck you feel like. Whether you want to go there and vote for Donald fucking Trump, whether you want to go there and vote for Handsy Uncle Joe, whether you want to go there and write in Yang, whether you want to go and vote for third party. That is your choice. Fuck what anybody else has to say about it. Fuck what anybody else has to say about a Senate. Fuck what anybody else has to say about the environment. Screw what other people have to say. It is your choice. Your choice solely. Don't let anybody shame you into doing anything that you don't want to do. The candidate that best speaks to you is who you vote for. If you feel like holding your nose and voting for Joe Biden, then so be it. If you feel like I hate the Dems to the nth degree and I'm going to vote Republican, then so be it. If you feel like none of these people deserve my vote and I'm going to vote third party, then so be it. That is your God-given right. That is your choice. I'm never going to voter shame you. I will talk shit about the candidates, and I talk shit about them all. But I'm not going to voter shame you. You're going to do what you're going to do. That's just the way it is. But these people were trying to voter shame Russell. And I saw it in real time, and I wasn't going to have that. Right? So there was back and forth. Now, unfortunately for them, they met the wittiest of black guys. And I was on their ass, right? Now, in this scenario, in this back and forth, right? One of them kept trying to preach and tell us what Andrew Yang would want. They kept telling us Andrew Yang this, Andrew Yang that. You guys don't know what Andrew Yang's the teacher. Now, the other person said, I was a Trump supporter in disguise. So this was quite hilarious. So here's the funny part to me. Here's the interesting part to me. When I don't agree with what said individual is saying, well, then I must be for Trump. I gotta be for Trump. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with your sentiment. I gotta be a Republican. Now, clearly, and James pointed this out, clearly, they had no idea who I was. They had no idea that I followed the Yang campaign to the nth degree. That I literally covered Andrew Yang every single day. That I dedicated 90% of my channel to Andrew Yang. That I spent money and countless hours editing material and making banners and pictures and photos for and about Andrew Yang. And that before I was a Yang supporter, I was a Bernie supporter. So I am the complete antithesis of a Trump supporter. I have nothing to do with the orange man. But he was convinced. Trump supporter in disguise. This is how ridiculous people make themselves look when it comes to this politics shit. God forbid you don't agree with them. They can't handle it. And so they're getting on Russell, trying to school him about Andrew Yang and trying to school me about Andrew Yang. So, look, I'm no celebrity, right? I've bumped into some Yang gang who knew who I was. Oh, you're reading my lips. I've bumped into some. So if you happen to know me, great. But I am shocked that you don't know who the hell Russell is. You don't know me? Fine. You don't got to know me. But you don't know who Russell is? You're an avid Yang supporter and you don't know who Russell is? There is nothing you can tell Russell, let alone me, but there's nothing you can tell Russell about Andrew Yang that this guy doesn't know. But these people were so full of themselves and had their heads so far up their ass that they were trying to school Russell on what Andrew Yang supported Biden. Congratulations. Fucking fantastic. Newsflash. It's not about Andrew Yang. It never was about Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang was the torchbearer for the policies we agreed on. And so far, he's the only one. I don't want to say the only one. There's other people coming up with UBI and stuff like that and supporting it now, which is great. But he was the torchbearer coming in with all these policies that we accumulatively agreed on. If Andrew Yang were to drop out of politics and somebody else came with those same policies and that same agenda, we would support that candidate. It's bigger than Andrew Yang. And like one of my subscribers and Twitter followers said in this conversation I was having with these knuckleheads, that if Andrew Yang jumped off a building, it told you to jump off a building, would you do it? And my response is, these dumbasses probably would, like, but Andrew Yang said. And I guess what I'm boiling down to, what I'm getting down to, because these people are minuscule. They're so little, so microscopic, and in my everyday, that I don't want to spend too much time on them. But they do lead to a bigger thing I wanted to point out. And what I wanted to point out is you cannot bully people into voting for who you want. That doesn't work. And I said this to them. I said, you cannot bully people into voting for your candidate. That never works. Shaming people never works. If you want to have a battle of ideas, if you want to have a conversation, then great. Me and Trump or for Yang can have a conversation. And I bet we won't agree on everything, but we can have a civil conversation. If you want to have me and Paget can have a conversation. Me and anybody can have a conversation and not shame the other person, right? But they decided to come on here shaming him. Wake up. They're literally telling him, wake up. Yes, that's going to work. Shaming him and belittling him because he's not voting for who you want him to vote for and telling him to wake up. is going to work. In my lifetime, when I've seen people do that, do you know what happens usually? They double down. So when you go to someone and you try to shame them, when you try to belittle them, when you try to pretend you're woke, when you try to spit Andrew Yang facts at people who are the diehard OG Andrew Yang people, but you don't gotta know me, you don't gotta know him, that's fine. You make yourself look silly, ignorant, and all you did was make Russell double down. You did not convince. Russell's not going to be like, yeah, maybe I need to wake the fuck up. I'm an idiot. I am fucking stupid. You're right. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And I am tired of the old adage. That doesn't work. The old adage of voting third, the old adage that not voting or a vote for third party is a vote for Trump, that does not work. You can say it till you're blue in the face. It's wrong. I'm gonna make it easy for you. And I remember Kyle Kalinske kind of went through this at one point. I'm gonna make it easy for you. A vote for Trump is a vote for Trump. A vote for Biden is a vote for Biden. A vote for third party is a vote for third party. You can do all the mental gymnastics you want. Here, I'll give you the beams. Flip off them shits. Do whatever you want to convince yourself whatever you want. But the fact remains, and I remember Heidi said the same thing. Thank you, Heidi, for supporting what I was saying. The fact remains is a vote for whoever you cast your vote for is for whoever you cast your vote for. That's it. That whole propaganda of, oh, if you don't vote or if you vote for this person, that means it's actually a vote for that person. That shit doesn't work. You look silly. Pack your bags. Get all the way out. And it was interesting. And the reason I brought this up is because this isn't the first scenario where I've seen this, right? I just happen to be entangled in this scenario, so I figured I'd talk about it. But I've seen this. I've seen this on forums. I've seen this on message boards. I've seen this on social media. Back and forths with people belittling the other people about who they're voting for and the hubris and the snarkiness. Listen, they're both shitty candidates. Some people believe Trump is an existential threat. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not even saying I agree with Russell's choice. But it's his choice to make. And I'm not going to make fun or belittle him for it. That doesn't make you better than him. That doesn't make you better than anybody else. You trying to sit there on your throne, trying to be holier than thou. All you're doing is making people vote for the other party. You do realize that, right? You're not swaying anybody. And I see it so much, especially on social media. Most things happen on social media because in real life, face-to-face, people punk out. People don't got the balls to say a third of the shit they say on social media to your face. But on social media, they will say any and everything because they feel secure behind the screen. So I just felt the need to talk about that, and that's the message I wanted to get out. If you didn't hear it, here it is again. You cannot bully anybody into voting for who you want them to vote for. Period. Doesn't matter how witty you try to make yourself out to be. Doesn't matter how intellectual you try to make yourself out to be. If you're voter shaming someone, it's not going to work. It never will. They're going to double down. And the other thing you're doing is you're making people not want to speak out. You're making people not want to speak out about who they're going to vote for. And you're going to find that there's going to be a lot of people keeping to themselves, staying shut, because they're worried what everyone else is going to say and what everyone else is going to think about them. And so they're going to go to the voting polls quietly and silently and vote for the other person. Do not be surprised if you see more votes for Trump than you anticipated, because a lot of people don't like the shame that is being directed towards them. So what they're going to do is they're going to tuck their tail between their legs, keep to themselves, and go vote for who the fuck they want to vote for. If you're a Democrat, you can't shame people into voting for Handsy Uncle Joe or Kamala the Cop Harris. It's just not going to work. I can't make it any more clear than that. So, yeah, just wanted to speak on that really quickly. I know it's a bit different from what I usually talk about, which is usually news. But I've been seeing it, and I had to speak up about it. I don't voter shame people. You know, I can disagree with your choice, but I'm always going to say it's your choice to make. And even if that choice is not voting, I support that as well. It's your choice. Nobody else's. Fuck what everybody else thinks. You do what's best for you. You understand? So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you agree? Have you come across this? And look, there needs to be a voice for the conservatives, conservative Yang gang as well, because it is split. At one point, we were really unified, but it's split. You have, the left Yang gang, and then you have the more conservative Yang gang, right? You have to remember, a lot of Republicans came over to become Yangocrats, so they need a voice as well. And you have to understand, they're not going to look at scenarios exactly the same way you are. You got to understand that. So, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you don't, let me know in the comment section why. I'm always down to talk about it. I have a Cash App, a PayPal, a Venmo, and a Patreon. Please feel free to donate to the channel. Every little bit helps. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace.